All right, what is up, sports fans? We are back for another episode of The Fan in the End here on the Florida Sports Tribune Media Network. I'm being joined by the big man down the bottom, as always, Mr. Ben Troupe, and we are being joined by a former athlete, a player's son himself, Mr. Marvin Powell III. Marvin, first and foremost, appreciate your time this morning. Talk some little football and chop it up with me and Ben this afternoon.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for having me, and just thankful to be here today.
Really appreciate it. Well, one of the reasons I wanted to reach out to you, because obviously, we're getting into the litigation part of things as we're getting the league is about to vote on if the Eagles can still use the tush push, and they've already had a little preemptive thing going on as they're talking about bringing the fullback position. Well, I figured since being a former fullback yourself, it'd be a pretty good time to kind of pick your brain and see about things. Like obviously, the fullback position has been kind of nixed over the past 5 years or so. You don't really see a whole lot of teams carrying fullbacks. I think there's probably a handful of teams left that actually still actively use it. But when we heard that that we're going to be talking about the banning of the Eagles quarterback sneak, the tush push play, and that they were kind of preempted that, and they're saying they just revitalized the running back position, that they're going to revitalize the fullback position. Felt like it was a good time to kind of reach out to you, pick your brain, see what your thoughts are on that. It's not an easy position to be, one, and two. How do you think the Eagles are gonna go about revitalizing that position?
Well, regarding the tush push, I'm all for it. I'm all for the physicality of the game. I think that as we've moved into this safe zone in this safe era of football, we've lost a little bit, to be honest with you. In regards to the fullback position, you're right. It's not an easy position. It's a position of really no glory. It's really all guts, no glory, especially when you're a run blocking fullback like I was, and your job is to go up in that A gap and attack that middle linebacker. Everybody on the field is running away from that middle linebacker, but the fullback's going right at them. You know what I mean? And that's just the position. That's what it is. Listen, I love what the Eagles are doing. I just growing up, I was friends with Deshaun Jackson, and when he was really young, and I knew Deshaun when he was young, and his dad and his brother. We had a really good relationship. Our families were very close. So he, and then watching him playing the pros, he made me kind of an Eagles fan. So watching them, supporting them from afar, supporting him, and seeing what they're doing, I think the Eagles are going to find a way to get that first down, tush push or not. If the Eagles are talking about bringing in a fullback, it makes sense to me, because at the end of the day, when you look at the Eagles, what separates them from other teams is their play up front, O-line, D-line. They're all about physicality. Everyone else is trying to be cute, taking away the fullback, adding a second tailback, going 3-wide spread and all that. But the Eagles have brought it back to what football really is, and that's 3 yards in a cloud of dust. And, for them to institute the tush push, genius. And if they're talking about bringing in that fullback, genius. And that's championship mentality, because at the end of the day, it comes down to the men up front, not them freaky athletes on the outside. That's just me.
I totally agree with you, but you brought up something that I kind of want to go back on that one. Close friends with Deshaun Jackson through his young years and becoming a pro. How good do you think he's going to be at being a head coach now on the collegiate level?
I believe Deshaun's going to do a great job. The kid that I knew was passionate, hungry, and hardworking, and you saw that throughout his career, college and pro, because the results showed you that, and you don't get those results by accident. That kind of success is intentional. So this is someone who's proven to be focused, and from afar, I'm watching this guy and I'm supporting him, and I think he'll do well. Big name. People, these young kids understand he's seen the level and the greatness and the bright lights. He's been there. He understands adversity and all that stuff. So I think kids are going to flock to him. I think that young coaches are going to flock to him, and I think that if that school commits the way they should, I think they have a good young head coach on the horizon.
Ben, hop in, brother.
Marvin, you kind of touched on a little bit when you talk about the fullback position. You look at a guy like Saquon Barkley. You look at how great he is with no fullback.
Exactly. Yeah.
Give him a fullback. How much how much more dangerous is he for opposing defenses, and how much easier is that for him? Because what I heard, I always like to listen to Michael Robinson and Beast Mode Marshawn Lynch. And Marshawn to say, dude, my fullback was my eyes. Like, I trust wherever he tells me to go, I'm going. A guy like Saquon, who's had to do it, a guy like Derrick Henry, or these big time running backs has done it without, even though Derrick Henry does sometimes get a fullback. You see the defense better than anybody. I mean, you come into the line, you're like, okay, I can see how much easier is the running back's life when he got a guy like you in front of him. And what type of conversation do the running back and you have on the sideline when he's saying, yo, Marvin, man, what you seeing? Because they say good running backs become great running backs when they got people like yourself in front of them.
No, that's real, man. You know, obviously, I think if you get a fullback who is a real run blocking fullback, you know, you have different kind of fullbacks. You know what I mean? I was really a run blocking fullback in college and in the NFL. So that was my specialty. That's what I did. And, you know, for the running back in college, you know, Chad Morton, the results showed, you know, and even Chad Morton, who went on to have a great career, he said to me in the NFL that if I was the fullback his senior year, he would have had 2,000 yards. You know what I mean? You get a guy like Saquon Barkley, Derrick Henry, you get them a real blocking guy, a guy who goes up there and gets dirty with it. I mean, it makes their life so much easier, you know, and it puts so much pressure on the defense. And these linebackers who are now really big, strong safeties, they ain't ready to deal with all that. They don't want to deal with all that, to be honest with you. You know, they really don't. And if you bring back that physical element in that backfield, it opens the doors for a guy who can really get out there and get it with a good running back.
And I know you. Listen, you're a Cali boy born in LA, went to SC. For these youngins who don't know, because I get it. We live in an era now. People think it's about, the Christian McCaffreys, the Leonard Fournette, these SEC, ACC, Southeastern running backs.
Right.
If we get to talking about USC running backs, we're going to be here for a long time. No, we're going to be here for a long time. I'm talking about, because my era, when I played, was Reggie Bush and Lindell White, and they were so good in college to where, I don't know how they did it, but they was like, look, dude, we ain't giving USC no night game. We're going to try to make it so that people on the East Coast, I've seen a lot of running backs. Let me say that. I've seen a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to describe anybody to Reggie Bush. It really, really is with what I played with Lindell.
Oh, right.
But to the youngers who don't understand football and running back, please tell them this rich tradition. Y'all can have a running back, fullback reunion. I can fill up a whole freaking side of a stadium with how many running backs. Talk about that USC football. With that USC running back tradition, man.
So listen, I'm a USC guy. I've been that since I was about 9 years old. Pops played at SC. We'll get into that. The reality is this: when you think about the best running back at the history of USC, for me personally, I'm still trying to determine, is it Reggie Bush, O.J. Simpson, or Marcus Allen? Okay. And, Reggie Bush is arguably the most exciting player in college football that we've ever seen. The only thing that comes close is Rocket Ismail, in my opinion. But I mean, Reggie was a different caliber athlete back there. Heisman Trophy winner, number 2 pick in the draft, really had a good career when you consider his injuries and stuff that he really went through. Reggie Bush was balling up in New Orleans for a while. But then you look at Marcus Allen, the first back to ever run for 2,000 yards in a season. Marcus Allen was the fullback for Charles White, who also won the Heisman, But, Marcus Allen was Reggie Bush before Reggie Bush in regards to coming out the backfield, being able to catch the ball, breakaway speed. And then, when I talk to a lot of these old USC alumni about, their perspective on who's the best, these guys swear it was OJ, it was Juice, and I respect their opinion. I respect the OG's opinions for real. At USC, we have 8 Heisman Trophy winners. I think 6 of them are running backs, going back to Mike Garrett. And then you have the Ricky Bales and the Anthony Davises and the Clarence Davises and the Chad Mortons. You have the guys that were exceptional, had great careers, but if you don't win the Heisman and get picked in the top 2 in the draft, you ain't even you're not even on the list. The standard is so high there. And then with the fullbacks as well, with late great Sam Van Cunningham and many more. But at USC, we pride ourselves in being able to run the ball. I played for Coach John Robinson, who was also my dad's head coach at USC. And even though it was the 1990s, I mean, he was playing 1970s football. It was ground and pound, fullback, big tight end, not this athletic tight end, big, strong tight end. Back then we had John Allred, who was really good, and Antoine Harris. But yeah, the tradition at USC is rich. And, if you're going to USC, you're going to USC because you want to be great, not because you want to be good. You want to be amongst real men, real dogs out there. And the standard is high. The standard is high at USC. You'll be a 1,000-yard running back and be forgotten about. Whereas at other schools, you're going to be on some picture on the wall. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
Yeah, but Marvin, you're in rare company because number one, Dad played at USC. You played at USC. You was gonna be USC some kind of, even if you didn't grow up. Look, man, I'm coming up in a household. All I'm saying is Trojans. I'm looking around. I don't know if they had Trojan, pajamas or bed sheets back then. But Daddy was like, look, I know where I want my son to go. Then you got that Powell last name, right? So it's already been established through Pops. But then people know you. I mean, LA is not a small city. Right. What was that? What was more pressure, having the Powell last name or the fact that, hey, man, my friends, they like right there watching every single thing I do?
Something, to be honest, going back to the first thing you said, just growing up, my dad would tell me about all his SC stories, from his friends to the games to everything they went through. And I mean, he loved his time at USC. It was very special to him, especially for a guy who was coming from Civil Rights South, Fayetteville, North Carolina. He went to SC in 1973. 1973 in North Carolina and 73 in LA are two different worlds. You know what I'm saying? So, with that, and for all that, he loved USC. But when it was my time, when I was getting recruited, as much as he loved SC, he really pushed me to take advantage of other opportunities. Example, I was being recruited by Columbia University, right? All the big schools recruited me, but Columbia Ivy League school was recruiting me. And I get them letters, and I throw them in the trash, right? Because in my mind, I'm trying to win the Rose Bowl. I'm trying to win national championship. I'm trying to be the number one pick in the draft. I'm trying to have Tom Brady's career. That was my vision. You know what I'm saying? So Columbia University, Ivy League, we ain't getting that. But he was, Marv, you got to look into Northwestern, Columbia, Berkeley. He was really open to that. At the end of the day, I chose SC, obviously, and he was definitely proud and very happy about that. But it wasn't really, from my household, there was no pressure to be like Dad. It wasn't about that at all. It was really just, academics, leadership, and just, striving towards your own goals, your own dreams, whatever that may be. He supported anything I did that was just positive. And obviously, growing up with him and just seeing how he was respected in New York and in LA and how people would respond to him, you want to be that. And to you, that's normal, So growing up, I definitely, I wanted to be like my dad without question. And going to SC was a big part of that, even though it was genuinely in my heart, But yeah, it was. And then in regards to my friends, living in New York when my dad played for the Jets, he was the MVP of the Jets. He in 1979 when he retired, he was a top 10 Jet of all time, which is significant when you think about this is a New York sports franchise and you're considered to be one of the top 10 ever. That's a big deal. You know what I'm saying? When you think about that. And my friends in Long Island and East Meadow in particular were all very supportive and showing me a lot of love over that. And, it was definitely something that everybody knew about and everything like that, man. But it brought positive attention. It was a good thing. And, I'm definitely thankful to be his son. And, I never felt pressure from him, like I said, or even not even from the outside. It really was just all in my head because I had my own goals and I wanted to be, the GOAT. I want to be, as I said, what Tom Brady is now, I had those kind of visions, you know what I mean? So I had my own inner pressure and own inner thoughts. And for me, the whole idea of going to the league started really early because my dad, being in the NFL, he had so much access to information and everything. I was in middle school reading combine results. Kids in middle school didn't even know what the combine was, back in late 80s. But I knew what it was. I knew all that stuff because he went from player to agent. So for me, I carried that bear on my back for a long time. You know what I'm saying? So making it was was amazing. Just making a roster, being on a 53, was everything to me. You know what I mean? But the pressure really came from myself, not from really anybody else.
And now we're on that. We've seen the circus that has gone on with the Sanders family and stuff like that, and now you're hearing that Shedeur is actually is looking a whole lot better than the kid drafted above him. Yeah, and now we're starting to see, the perception was probably right that a lot of the stuff that was going on, the negative stuff, was just people not really caring for Deion more than Shedeur, and Shedeur's kind of already proven his character as a person with how he handled everything, how he's already gone in the community, being the first guy in there, last guy out, things of that nature. Like being a son of a all-pro guy who was one of the, as you were saying, top 10 guys when he retired for the New York Jets. Like, what do you think he's going to be he's going to be doing more now that obviously he's going to have a chip on the shoulder? But what do you think how his thought process is now moving forward?
Let me say this. Let me just say, the media and these people on social media have made me the biggest Caitlin Clark fan, Shedeur fan, and Bronny fan, because these three athletes are so hated and people are so jealous of them. The jealousy behind these people is unreal, and that turns me on. And now I love these guys. With Shedeur, let me tell you something. I've been a fan of Shedeur since I watched him as a little kid on the Deion Family Playbook, on the probably the best and the healthiest reality show ever been on TV that no one talks about. Deion Sanders, when he had his reality show, it was a great show, positive show, very positive show. And you saw all the great things he was doing as a dad, how he's leading them. I think Shedeur has handled most things well. I don't think he helped himself in that draft process. But at the end of the day, you're right. I think a lot of people have feelings toward Deion that impacted Shedeur. I think Shedeur probably could have done better in the draft process. That could have helped him. But I think people also they struggle to see a young African-American man who's genuinely confident, and it makes people feel uneasy. I think it really does. I think all of that kind of mixes in there, But with Shedeur, I think that kid is going to be a star. I've been saying it since he was at Jackson State. And what you don't understand is when you're groomed by a guy who's done it at a high level, it's like, if your dad's a plumber, you're going to be a plumber. And growing up, you're going to know all the tricks of that trade, as if you went to school for it and you didn't. You know what I mean? Shedeur has learned how to be a champion, how to be a leader, how to deal with adversity, controversy, fame, money. He's been doing this since he was born, dealing with all this. This is not new to him. That's why you see him laughing and joking. He's all right. This is his life. This is just life. Y'all just catching on and catching feelings, but he's been doing this for a long time like this and doing it well. And he's laughing at y'all in these interviews. I think like y'all trying to get to me, but I'm good. That's what I get from him, and I love that. I love that from him. I think he's going to do a great job. I'm a big fan of Dalen Gabriel, to be honest with you, as well. I liked him at Oregon a lot. I liked him at his other school as well, at Oklahoma. But I think Shedeur is a stud. I think he's built different. I think he has a different confidence, a different foundation. And I think we've been seeing it. And now people who are really paying attention are seeing it as well.
I think the Cleveland fans are for once going to be happy that their quarterback room isn't filled with a bunch of guys who got 10 set heads and not a lick of athleticism in it. Between the fact that you bring in a guy like Joe Flacco, who I know everyone thinks he's gonna win the starting job. I don't feel that way. I think they brought him in there because he's a guy that can kind of mold them into the little nuances that maybe Shedeur and them guys aren't doing it. I think that we're going to see Pickett actually win the job, but before the season's over, Shedeur Sanders will take over the reins, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think in the long term, I think from what you're hearing from mini camp and just what you're hearing from people who were objective about where they thought he should have gone in the first round, I think what you're going to see is a kid after training camp and maybe through a few games is ready to roll. I think from a just from his mental aspect. His mentality is he's much further along than people think in regards to his maturity. Again, he's been coached by the Deion, who's a GOAT in his own right. You know what I mean? And that matters. That kind of teaching and education matters. When you see a champion every single day and you grew up with a champion every single day, that has impact on you. You know what I mean? So Shedeur is built in a way people don't understand cerebrally. But yeah, I see his kid at some point mid-season or when he starts to struggle to take over. I think he's a franchise quarterback.
Go ahead, Ben.
No,
Yeah.
I believe he is. And look, when Shedeur, they took all the rookies. They had rookie minicamp. They took a picture. Shedeur was right there in the middle, and a lot of his teammates, they stuck their arm up. When he did the thing when he did the thing in college with the watch, right?
Yeah.
I think what you just said, Marvin, hit it though. What people don't understand is they really don't understand how strong culture is in Black homes. It is strong. It is. We don't put the word culture on the board and say, "Hey," but and what you're watching is culture. It ain't confidence. It ain't convince. But if I'm a talent evaluator and Michael Jackson's son walk in and he starts singing and dancing, I'm like, "Who taught him how to do?" That's Michael Jackson's son. It's like people act like they ain't never seen. Deion is about as confident as you ever seen, no matter when you seen him, whether he's coaching, walking down the street. And when Deion says, "What make you think I care about what you feel about me?" People don't like that because Colorado told Deion, as long as you win, man, do it, man. Do what you do. Because guess what Deion is good for? He is good for business. Colorado ain't never seen this type of money coming through Boulder. Colorado State was like, "Hey, dude, is there a way you can kind of show us how you," because at the end of the day, college is a business, right? Yeah. And when people say, "Hey, man, you went to USC or you go to Colorado, you go to Florida, man, to get an education." Well, I'm an athlete on the back of that student now. I'm not just a student. I'm an athlete too. And if I don't do that second part, that first part is all I really got. When they watching a guy like Shedeur, what people never talk about is Shedeur Sanders' teammates love him. They love him at Jackson State.
100%.
They love him at Colorado.
Yeah.
And the Cleveland. And just imagine getting drafted. Mason Graham went 5th overall to Cleveland. No one's even talking about him. Think about this. The 5th overall pick. They're talking about the 5th round. They ain't even talking about Dylan Gabriel. And I think Dylan Gabriel has handled it like a pro because he goes, "Dude, I didn't know the aura." Because the Sanders got an aura about him. It's that. It's like people like aura ain't real. Yeah, you got to be around a person. Like I've been in a similar environment that Michael Jordan was in. We was not in the same room, but he walked out, and you could barely see him. I mean, people just trying to get it. And now I would have been trying to get it. I want the fanboy, but I'm so far behind the group, I can't. I think the thing about Shedeur is all of this wouldn't matter if he couldn't play. The boy can. You've never questioned, can he play? Yeah. They got to talk about everything but what matters.
And
he was. So go ahead, Mark.
Go ahead. No. Go.
No. I'm just saying the culture. The culture is what you're watching. You're not. Deion Sanders says, "I'm not the best father. I'm an active one." And there ain't a. If it's a Marvin Powell the 4th and the 5th and the 6th, and you get a chance to coach your youngin' Marvin, you can be like, "Hey Marvin, you get to coach your son his whole life." Well, let's sign me. And in college, because think about people saying, "Well, why would he?" It ain't even Shedeur. Travis Hunter was the #1 recruit in the country. He trusted Deion that much. I'm going to Jackson State with this dude. And Deion said, "Look, man, I'm the only coach would have not. You think he's gonna get to play that much football if you go to Florida State? No, he's playing one side of the ball.
Yeah.
And because Deion did it right, they're gonna let him play both sides of the ball in the league. He ain't gonna start on both sides. So I just think that when you talk about the impact of a Deion and a Shedeur and a Shiloh and a Deion Sanders Jr. and a Travis Hunter, Young is saying, "Dude, I want that." Like the football is one part. Look at how he treats these dudes. Have you ever seen Travis Hunter not smile? Me neither. Even with everything they were saying about his lady, he handled it with class. I ain't never seen. I mean, I know they got girlfriends and stuff. I ain't never seen no Sanders with a lady outside of their mama. So they keep their private life private. I was just saying when it comes to Deion and how he did it, Deion say, "Well, why, if I'm not a good coach, why would Warren Sapp want to coach with me? Why
Yeah.
Why would Marshall Falk want to coach my running backs? I just think that the culture of African American men, young men, is scary because you go, dang, man, I'm a lie about it in public, but I like it in private. Oh, when I come on these platforms, I'm gonna say I can't stand Shadur Sanders. Who you think your son gonna want a jersey of? Hey, daddy, can I get a number 12? Who, Travis Hunter? I want a Shadur. You want a Shadur Sanders? Yeah. And I want all the colors. I want the brown one, the white one, and I think that's what I get from being on these platforms is understanding that I don't think people are being honest in public because I can't be the one to say I really like him. And he went 5th round. Well, guess what's gonna happen now? What if he turns Cleveland into a winner? What they gonna say if he does for Cleveland what he did for Colorado and Jackson State? Because guess what? Out of all these great teams in college football, who had the most receivers drafted in 2025? Colorado. They had the most receivers taken.
And who's throwing them the ball, right? Who's throwing them the ball? Nah.
And we're talking about culture change, right? We're talking about culture change.
Just saying, Travis Hunter won the Heisman. Who threw it to him?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm just saying.
And everything you're saying is right, man. It really is. And, I agree with you that the narrative behind the Black family needs to change, especially as you see these kids getting drafted. And I'm watching them get drafted on the couch, and I'm seeing mom and dad repeatedly over and over again, and I'm loving it. But, even bigger than that, man, is, when you talk about culture and culture in the home, regardless of background or whatever it may be, the reality is you can build championship culture in your kids in your home. That's teachable. You know what I'm saying? You're not born a champion, you become a champion. You know what I'm saying? So for anybody watching this, man, I think this is the way you talk to your kids. I encourage all of my friends who don't come from athletic backgrounds to push their kids. You know what I mean? To encourage their kids to be the best they can. Why not you? Why can't you be the best in the nation? Why, if you put the work in and you care about this and you're willing to really work through this and make it happen and commit to this, why not you? So, championship culture is something that is real, that I think regardless of what you do for a living or how much you make, you can have in your home, you can instill that in your kids. And, I preach it left and right when I can to those who are willing to listen. So.
And we're talking about culture change. I don't know if you guys seen this. You seen who's now buying in and being a majority owner of the Cleveland Browns now?
I didn't see that.
What? Charles Woodson.
Whoa. And guess what? And who you think gave him advice to do that? I guarantee you, Tom Brady gave him advice to do that because Tom Brady is, he owns part of the Raiders now, who used to play for the Raiders when they was in Oakland. That would be Charles. He got drafted by him, ended his career there as a safety. Let me tell you something. Tom Brady told Charles, look, dude, you want to be a part of an up-and-coming franchise. It's hard to – listen, to buy into these franchises that's already at the top, it's hard to, But you saying, look, man, you get to go from a player to an owner. It doesn't matter if you own 1%. 1% of something is better than 100% of something else.
I think that's exactly what he got. He got 1% ownership, yeah.
And guess what?
I'll take it. I'll take it.
Listen,
I'll take it.
If I had half a percentage, I'm getting a suit. I'm like, we finna have a nice because that's rare air. Someone says, "Hey, man, think about this. Have you ever asked anybody who owns something how much they own of it? You've never said how much a percentage. No, you go. You wouldn't even know the ownership if you saw him with the Browns. Charles Wilson in the building. Former Heisman Trophy winners in the building. He owns 1% of the Browns. And if I'm not mistaken, I think Myles Garrett owns part ownership of the Cleveland Cavs.
Yes, he's part owner of the Cavs. You're absolutely right. Which means
when my playing career is over, which it is, I want to have something that's going to make money whether I'm there or not. And guess what? Why did he wait for Shadur to get drafted? He been wanting to be part of. Hey, I got this quarterback. Hey, we got Shadur. Because now he get to say we got Shadur, not they got. Hey man, I don't mind these moves being made. I know the Charles Wilson. I know he does. I know he's in the alcoholic beverage industry as well. I'm happy. I know he does the cigars, but Marvin, listen. USC come and say, which we can't do it with college teams. At least not yet. If someone says, "Hey Marvin, this the Jets. What's up, man? We got some opportunity for you to be a part on this thing. I don't got to come to no meetings. I don't got to make no decision. Nope. I just get my checks. Yeah. I'll be there because
I would want to be at the meetings and I would want to be making decisions. But either way, I'll get in however I can. Absolutely.
No, congrats though, man. I like to see.
Yeah.
I like to see because the narrative about athletes is we good to play the game. We ain't good for business. We don't understand that part. But once again, it takes one to break into like now. If I'm a former athlete and I want to go into TV, I'm talking to Michael Strahan. I'm talking to Nate Burleson. They up there. You see, but that's why they do Good Morning America. Kelly and Michael, not just ESPN, because they know we can talk sports. Can we talk life? Can we talk business? And I think when I bring once the athlete, always the athlete. So we always can talk that athlete talk, but when we bring us in the building, we say, man, why don't you think more of you guys get opportunities? I say, y'all got to open up the door. I think y'all afraid of the culture that comes with us. It's not me. You think I'm not trying to break up. Listen, I don't know about you, Marvin and Steven. I ain't been asked to go to a country club yet and don't care. I don't want to go to no country club, man. That food probably going to be nasty and people telling jokes that ain't funny. I'm not doing that. They think that we're going to break up what's already been. No. I'm just trying to make it look like what you employ. You employ people to look like me, sound like me, or me. Well, how much better could your decision making be when I go, that's not a good decision? What you mean? Nah, don't do that. You finna draft. You're going to draft, I say you're going to draft Shadur Sanders in the 5th round. Yeah. Well, you could have got him in the 3rd. You could have got him in the 2nd. Why? Well, being these evaluators said this and said that. Evaluators don't play football. They watch it. Listen now. And they can know what they're talking about, right? But I got drafted in 2004. Wes Welker went undrafted. So somebody ain't do their job because that boy might be the greatest slot receiver ever. And that's taking nothing away any slot receiver. So just because people don't think evaluators can get it wrong. Mel Kiper gets it wrong every year. He'll be on national TV getting it wrong, and he's been there for 20 years. So I just think that.
Listen, I don't know how Mel Kiper still got a job after sitting there saying Jamarcus Russell is going to be the next John Elway.
Listen.
He's entertaining. People forget this is entertainment. It's like Fox or CNN. This ain't real. It doesn't matter what side.
This ain't for.
It's like matter what. It's not real. It's sports entertainment.
Yes.
People
I didn't even know. I didn't even know that. Like when not to get on these other networks, but with CNN, MSNBC, Fox, when they go on and they doing that sparring back and forth, these people be having dinner after. They be like, boy, hey, I like what you said. They trolling us. They trolling us in real time, but.
And when we're on this, I got something to follow up. Go ahead, Ben.
No. The biggest troll we ever been trolled was last year in the offseason. The Giants on national TV told Saquon, you get to go. We're going to let you hit free agency. And I go, what? We're going to let you hit free agency. You're talking to Saquon, right? Yeah. He's an aging back. Is he? Is he an aging back? So you let him go. And in year 1, he rushes for 2,000 yards. Could have broke the record. Saquon is a pro's pro. Saquon sat out week 18, could have broke the record.
And he sat out second halves of 3 different games. Of 3 different games, they went and put Shipley in, they put Gainwell in. People forget about that.
Man, we live in worlds where, people act like we don't know what we're looking at. You don't have to get paid to know what you're looking at. We don't have to be, people like, well, you ain't no scout. Well, some of these scouts shouldn't be scout either. Some of the stuff they do, some of these GMs they do, because like I said, being a Falcons fan, playing for the Titans and the Bucks and the Raiders, when y'all got Saquon, Steven, I said, I'm not watching football this year. I am not going to be watching because, and you know this better than me, Marvin. If Marvin says that boy right there going to be nice, well, he ain't just saying it because he know football. I do this. I know what they look like, right? If you don't know, people think somebody said the greatest thing ever come out of Penn State was Micah Parsons. Look again, and I like Micah, but people say the greatest linebacker ever came out of Penn State was Micah Parsons. No, that would be LeVar Arrington. But I don't. That's why I don't argue with people on X. I got to stop. I got to
listen. He went to my rivals, but God, man, I prayed to the gods that he would come here to Philadelphia, and he didn't. But LeVar Arrington was. He was like another Ray Lewis, man. He was just a special guy.
Yeah, I think I played against LeVar my sophomore year. We played Penn State in Giant Stadium in '96, and I'm pretty sure he was on that team. I think he was an outside linebacker for them, and I think maybe a freshman or a sophomore himself. But he was good. He was good.
Yeah, he's one of those rare ones.
It's like this. When I play for the Raiders, I'm going. I'm in the state of California, and I'm asking, man, what's the best college? Because California got colleges everywhere, all up and down. People yelling. People go Cal and UCLA, Fresno State. A kid that went to a small school in Cal said, USC is the standard. They said, listen to me. He said, listen. USC. People said, he said, listen. When you're not from Cali, you call it USC. When you from Cali, they say, where you go? I go to SC. You don't got to say the U. No, you say the U when you're not from. I'm saying USC. That's like when you're in Baltimore, you call it Baltimore. You from it, you go Baltimore. The L goes away. Listen, the kid I'm talking to was Nnamdi Asomugha. He went to Cal. Listen to me. Nnamdi said, no disrespect to my university because I love it. No disrespect to UCLA. SC. He says, why? He said, SC in Cali is like the Lakers. I said, so what is everybody else? He said, not the Lakers. This is what he said, not the Lakers. No. He ain't saying they ain't good. He says in Cali. He said if Marshawn Lynch was from LA, he would have went to SC. He went to Cal because he's from Oakland. Because he said that boy from Southern Cal, he says if you from Southern California and you leave the state, either one, you weren't that good, or two, you don't know what you're doing. You don't believe me? Where is Nico going from Tennessee? Where is he from? Oh, okay. When people say he's gotten the transfer, he's going to transfer portal. Who you think gonna get him? I go either SC or UCLA. You sure? Most kids from California know what Tennessee is. They know that Tennessee is a state. They don't know where it is on the map. What would Nico know about Tennessee? I'm just being honest.
Like, well, that was probably more of a business decision, right?
Oh, it was $9 million. Listen, $9 million. If Marvin is coming out of 2025. And Marvin Sr. said, where you going, son? Well, they offered me $9 million to go to Tennessee. Well, son, we going to Knoxville.
Well, we got 9 years till that comes, and we already having those conversations now. My son right now actually is a Gator fan.
We gotta get him on then. We gotta get your son on.
He's a basketball player.
Well, listen, which is even better. You saw what we just did. You saw with Florida. But I will say this about Florida. Yes, I'm biased. I get it. I went there. I get it. But your son would just have to get used to the heat, the humidity, but if he can hoop, which listen, it's one of those things that once I know who his dad is, who his grandfather is, I'll be on campus. I gotta act like I don't know him. I say, Marvin, come here. I said, look at me. Okay. I said, because what we do at Florida, people don't like to talk about. We love the next generations. Like Willie Jackson Sr. was the first Florida Gator. He broke the color barrier. Willie Jackson Jr. ended up being like an All-American. Terry Jackson, the brother of Willie, was a part of the first national championship under Steve Spurrier. Now the grandson, the son, and the nephew, Khalil, he's there right now. All of them won number 22. 22, right? My son, last name, first and saying like we got a different middle name. My son be like, Dad, if I want to go to Florida, I say, son, let me tell you something. Do it. If they're gonna give you a scholarship, do it, because the Powells, y'all like the Mannings at Ole Miss. Y'all like part of the royal family. And that to me is sacred. That to me is special because as much as you knew about your daddy, when you went to SC, you learned about him from people like, you Marvin, son. Yes, man. Yes, sir. Yes. And they telling you about him. What is that feeling like when you go, no, I know my daddy is him, but I go to SC and I go, because that's where the world figured out who he was. What was it like every time somebody said, what was it like hearing about your pops through those lenses?
Well, I mean, just bigger than that, man. On my dad's side of the family, we have six Division I athletes and 3 NFL players. So growing up in that was a lot, it was a blessing and I loved it. When I was at SC, when I was a student athlete at SC, I mean, I was constantly running into his old teammates. again, we had the same head coach. John Robinson was his head coach, and he was my head coach as well. You know what I mean? Charles White was my running back coach, but Charles White played with my dad's senior year at USC. So there was a big connection with me and my dad and the people at SC. And it was just, I was a proud son. I'm a proud son, this to me, my dad set a standard, and that's a blessing. I think having standards in families is a good thing. And it was always a good feeling to have run into people who would remind me of that standard. I didn't take it as a threat. I wasn't, concerned about it. And it was a positive experience altogether. And there was a lot of love definitely shown to me for my pops from just USC Nation, period, when I was in LA. Yeah.
Now, you already touched on this, Marvin. I want to kind of get into it because over the last few days, the nonsense that surrounds Caitlin Clark has kind of surfaced its head again, right? Obviously, they kick off the season and they matched her up with her favorite rival down there in Angel Reese, and the technical foul that probably shouldn't have been a technical foul is kind of making it to run through the media networks, and then you see obviously RG3 goes and makes his comment and breaks it down like what he's seen, that he felt that it's hate, not competitive athletics, athletics or whatever. But then you get the other side of the media heads, and now you have Mr. Clark down there talking about he can't speak on it because he has a white wife and things that I don't know where some of this stuff is going, but like I don't know how somebody's family gets into a sports take. Why are we Reza, I want to ask, because both of you guys are players, both of you guys are black gentlemen. If you guys are having a sports take, if someone brings up your wife, it's a different conversation now, right?
It is. Honestly, this whole thing with Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, the media is taking advantage of the masses and the fools. That's what it comes down to. These are two professionals playing hardcore basketball at the highest level. These are basketball plays. This isn't hate. This isn't them wanting to fight. They going hard. And when you see Angel Reese turn around and get in her face, she's turned up. She's in the middle of the game. You know what I'm saying? So she's feeling it. That's not personal. That's not nothing but just her being turned up in the game. That's it. And for RG3, who was a phenomenal athlete, it was sad to hear him take it there. I mean, he should know better than that. You should know better than that. It's crazy that he took it there. And for anybody, I don't know what was said about his wife. I know, there was something to say about him being in an interracial relationship, but at the end of the day, there's no need to bring in anybody's family into any aspect of business or anything like that whatsoever. No matter what industry you're in, wife and kids are not on the table to be discussed. You know what I mean? So however that came up, I don't know. I'm not for that. But, the media and these ignorant fools on social media are trying so hard to make this a white versus black and a hate and this and that. These girls don't want no part of that because that's not where they coming from. You know what I'm saying? And
Caitlin's Will Clark's daughter. Will Clark was a fairly good baseball player in the 90s, early 2000s. So it's like she's got lineage to herself as well, and she carries herself in a certain way. And she's flat out said like listen, this is not a part of basketball. Like I just want to play my game. And regardless if people feel that Angel Reese's reason, like regardless if she even doesn't like her as an athlete or whatever, I don't think it's on a racial level, and I don't think anyone needs to fucking bring it there. Regardless if she is one of the few white girls that are in the WNBA or not, I don't think that generally when we're talking to 99% of the athletes, they really have no care about it. If the girl can play, let's put her on the team and let's ball out.
I agree. I completely agree with you, man. It's it's unfortunate. You know what I'm saying? It's unfortunate, but for people to be as emotional and crazy as they are about it, and to even give that any time or attention, it just tells you that enough of us haven't moved forward. You know what I'm saying? Which is unfortunate. You know what I'm saying? Like it's enough people haven't moved forward past that, because all I see is two competitors going at it at a high level, and I love it. I was fans of both of them in college. Caitlin, to be honest with you, Caitlin was one of the people that kind of got me into it just because the way ESPN was covering her historic run in Iowa. But Angel Reese, in her own right, was phenomenal at LSU. And I loved watching her play. And I love watching them. We're fans that people in my house, my wife, my kids, we watch the WNBA. So
yeah, I'm gonna say this humbly, but what Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark doing for the WA is not that much different than what Bird and Magic did when they came in together. Because they came in together, right? I'm not saying the game is the same. I'm saying in this country, race, power, right, and controversy sells. I mean, it just does. You wish it didn't. RG3 no better. RG3 is RG3 was on TV. I think he just got picked up by FS1. Like RG3 knows. We know what hate looks like. Hate, you do not got to explain it. You do not got to tell people. He says, show me a play that this happens. This happens every day. In the smallest level of basketball, AAU, backyard, at the YMCA, LA Fitness, hard fouls, I don't like that. But it takes away from the athlete's moment when you do that. Because now the people that want to make it all, Caitlin Clark, to me, right? Listen, I don't think Caitlin Clark is the best WNBA player. I think Aja Wilson is. I think Caitlin Clark is the most important player. In WNBA, Caitlin Clark is the most important player, right? Yeah. So everything she does is gonna get eyes on it. But I don't, and I'm like you, I don't know what Ryan Clark said about RG3's wife. But I do believe that's all. Let me tell you something. Before anything else, we men. You start talking about my family, man. The most mild-mannered, easygoing, non-confrontational man, hands will go like this. Because you don't do that. And sometimes, because I know that RG3 does a podcast with his wife, right? And let me say this. Listen, man, we need to stop doing that. We need to stop saying, like when someone says, well, so I heard somebody say, well, RG3 came out of a black woman. Duh, yeah. Like, we know, like, I'm like, is this new? Did you just say? We need to, as journalists, analysts, podcasters, do we need to call each other out? Yes. But it's how you do it, not that you do it. Like, and when you got to use my family, I won that argument. I won that debate. Because you're talking about something. Now, I will say this. RG3 has a platform. Ryan has a platform. Both of them got big ones. Pick the platform you're going to go on, talk about it. And the reason why you do it like that is because, look, man, text messages and 170 characters, I don't know your tone, man. Like, you could just say, if I got something to say to Steven, I got your phone number, right? I'm not going to say, all right, Steven, man, it's all good. And I air you out on so you're like, dude, because once I press send, and RG3 and Ryan Clark, they got huge platforms, right? It becomes, hey, man, too much is given, much required. So I get it that I can't say everything I want to say because when I say it, that's weight to it. No matter what Ryan Clark said, RG3 said, and RG3 has daughters, man. So, if Ryan say he don't understand the plight of a black woman, that's not true just because I'm married to a what? I don't know. I just think that
RG3's children are black.
Yes, and it's like, and here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. We listen to RG3, to Russell Wilson. When black men tell another black man, questioning his blackness or calling him, I ain't with that 0%. Because I'm like, who are you to tell me how I'm supposed to be? And to me, what they say, nobody wins with a family feud. Guess what? You need RG3 to do well. Especially me and Marvin. Yeah, we do. Because guess what? Unfortunately, we get judged by the few. It comes with it. But I believe that Ryan being a professional and RG3 being professionals, they got to come together. I said, look, man, if y'all gonna open up this room, y'all got to be the one closing because y'all did it. I don't know, and they used to work together. So it's a lot deeper than what we really know. But it's like this: grown men talk it out, man. And if we can't talk it out, we can throw the fade. And we're going to do a one-on-one, just you and me. That ain't going to make the news. That ain't going to make X on Instagram. If I came online, I got a black eye, like I'm looking like the freaking Tampa Bay Buck mascot, I lost. What happened, man? Hey, man, we met up. It didn't go my way. But guess what? Wasn't no camera. And I'm not promoting violence. It's just these women in the WNBA work too hard for us to snatch it from. Because we can snatch it from them. Men can snatch. And as a father of 2 daughters, one who definitely plays basketball, I'm fighting. Listen, I'm fighting for my daughters and all women like Kobe would have been had he been here. I believe if Kobe Bryant was alive, he would be all in the WNBA. He said, dude, I've given the NBA all I'm going to give it. I ain't giving it one more second. So that's the part that bothers me the most is when it go from not to – when RG3 used the word hate, I said, RG3, don't do that. That's not hate. Because to the people that already think – if Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark hate each other, well, all women need to hate each other. Because that is not hate. Their whole career is going to go side by side with each other. From college, from Iowa to LSU to getting drafted and what they're doing now. So, yeah, I just think that the moment the people who are seasoned vets when it comes to this analyst game, podcast game, come on, man. You should be the last one to press in. And before you do, proofread it. Can we proofread or proof edit? I know we got cameras set up in our house and we can go, we're good. Okay, this is RG3 here, and I just want to say that Angel Reese hates Caitlin Clark cut. No, we got it. Don't. That's a bad take because she doesn't. And Angel Reese is being asked questions. Do you hate Caitlin Clark? I've already talked about this. When at LSU, I've already told y'all I don't. You know what I'm saying? I mean, because hate is a strong word, and it's hard to get people to hate. I hate taxes. I hate bills. My bills and taxes don't care because they keep coming more and more. But yeah, once we have these and let me say this too, Marvin, Steven, myself, don't think you got to be a big name for what you say to matter too. Oh, that's another thing. So we think, well, my platform ain't as big. It can get real big overnight depending on what you say. Because they're gonna say so and so from this podcast set. So we have to make sure that we always pushing the right, and we all pushing the narrative some way, shape, or form. But let's at least push the right one. Because look, all these men around here saying, man, Angel Reese ain't that good. I bet you couldn't beat her one-on-one. You know how tall Angel Reese is. Like people meet her in person and go, whoa, yeah, she like 6'4", right?
Is she really?
Yeah. Angel Reese like 6'3", 6'4". Yeah. Like people that seen her on red carpets, they be like, dude, like they going like this. Oh shoot! Like I'm 6'5", so I can. She's 6'4" without heels on. I'm just saying. And look, and Caitlin Clark. Listen, NBA. Don't they let the WNBA and NBA go up against each other in the 3-point contest? Ain't nobody, man. That stroke is nice. That Angel Clark is money, and I just think that I like that Angel Reese quiets all the noise. When they ask her, man, she don't hate me. I don't dislike her, but on that court. They got to deal with it. They can say whatever they want. They can fire me.
The dogs out there. The dogs out there. You know? Yeah.
I love it. I mean, but you know what? I do love the fact that
now let's talk about some more hate, right? We're going to talk about some more hate, but on the football field. The natural rivalries are going to be kicking back up this season. Now, there was some stuff going on where we're talking about how Guantanamo Bay isn't a thing. CeeDee Lamb said he never got shut down. He's never been on an island. He ain't never been locked down before. If I remember correctly, now, obviously, you know, he don't got the picks or anything, but Quinyon Mitchell absolutely shut just about every receiver down last season. I think when everything was said and done, he had only given up 2 touchdowns, and that was at the very back end of the season. CeeDee Lamb sitting there saying that Guantanamo Bay isn't a thing that doesn't exist. I don't know what he's talking about. I mean, obviously it's Quinyon Mitchell's nickname, but I'm gonna say this one. I think the season's kicking off here in Philadelphia is gonna be very interesting with Dallas is already chirping, and you know,
is that your first game?
Yeah,
we get Dallas here week 1.
Yeah.
And
CeeDee
Lamb's already sitting there saying that. And CeeDee Lamb is already saying that Quinyon Mitchell basically he ain't him, and I think he proved it last year. He shut down everybody. He shut down Michael Evans. CeeDee Lamb had 1 catch for 5 yards against him in 2 games. That's all I got to say about that.
I mean, listen, I will say this now: the competitive side in both players, especially CeeDee Lamb. It's like asking a person in the Super Bowl who you think gonna win. What you expect me to say? Oh, they're gonna beat us. We just happen to. No, CeeDee Lamb is saying, look, man, I got to see him anyway. No matter what, if I'm complimentary, I got to see him. If I'm disrespectful, I got to see him. I'm just gonna be honest. Sometimes players look at the totality of what they've done, not who they did it against. They'll say, well, look at my numbers. They'll go, yeah. But Quinion, I mean, he's saying, all right. He's saying, I ain't got no island. All right. Because first game, right? But you know what they just gave CD? They gave him a sidekick. See, George Pickens, they gave him a sidekick, right? And that's what I'm looking forward to because I like the fact that first game of the year, make it a division game. Because everybody want to see Philly because they defending champs. Everybody knows about Dallas. No matter what Dallas do, we know about it, good, bad, you know. But that's what makes football, man, the matchups, man. They listen, and look, in between them lines, you're going to hear us say all kind of stuff, man. We some of the most disrespectful people. We don't mean none of that stuff. But after the game, man, we tell each other, boy, I love you, man. Stay healthy. Tell your mom.
Pray together.
Of course, man. Some of us have had dinner the night before at my house. And then, hey, listen, man, you want me to get you an Uber? Like, it's all love at the table. As soon as they get up, and I'm going to try to, all right, tomorrow. Because it's healthy. But CD, let's see. Because CD Lamb is nice. Mitchell is nice, too.
He is.
And I want to see two alpha male mentality type players. Because you got to be built different to play for that Philadelphia Eagles team and defense. But, like I say, George Pickens is like, George Pickens don't like nobody. I don't even know if he like his teammates. You know, they like, but I'm looking forward to it though. I think I like the fact that it's Philly and Dallas because, like I say, I got coached by John Gruden for a minute down there in Tampa, and I agree with something he says. He says everybody has dreams. He said I'm in the nightmare. It's gonna be a nightmare for somebody that first game. I don't know who. I think I kind of know who. I think it's gonna be a nightmare for Dallas, right? But think about that. Freddy Krueger, when he puts on the jersey, it's usually green, right? And it has the Eagles on the front because y'all got some players that don't like Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, but the Freddy Krueger to me on y'all team is Jalen Hurts because he looks unassuming, polite, mannerable. He finna try to rip your guts out. He finna try to, and I just hope the first play from scrimmage is a tush push. Just go ahead and get a penalty. we got to have a nice send off. Have a nice send off. Because guess what? If they did the tush push all the way down the field, you couldn't stop it. That's why they're really trying to ban it because you can't stop it. So it is the
and me and you talked about this, Ben. We already talked about how they were going to change the rule during the offseason where you basically weren't going to be able to push an offensive player forward. And here's the thing about that. That only not hurts the Eagles in that play. That hurts on those weird plays where you run a screen and then you kind of get bunched up with a bunch of guys that your progress is still more moving forward. You're trying to fight for a first down. You get your help from your offensive lineman, your tight end, whatever. And now that play's now going to be a 10-yard penalty.
Yeah, but you know what no one's talking about? Who you think invented the tush push? Who do you think? Huh?
Indianapolis Colts.
Nope.
Oh,
tush push. Listen, the tush push got invented when SC played Notre Dame and Reggie Bush was pushing Matt Leinart. That's the first time I ever saw it. Because when he did it, I'm like, did it just push? Because Matt Leinart could have just gave it to Reggie. He's trying to be cute. I'm gonna do the quarterback sneak and do what? He didn't get it, and Reggie literally pushed him for the first down. So I'm not saying they originally. That's the first time I ever saw it. That's the first time I ever saw it.
I was just watching that game yesterday.
Reggie Bush said, "I will not go back to the sideline and have to explain why they didn't hand me because the play comes in. Quarterback.
Breaking news. Guess what?
Guess
what, boys? Breaking news. They didn't ban it. It didn't pass.
Oh,
really?
Well,
they did not get enough votes. They did not. I'm looking at it right now.
That just means that we got a bunch of owners that are football purists are saying, look. Isn't the goal to have a play that can't be stopped? Oh, so we're supposed to call plays that anybody can stop? That, like I said, that would be like telling Kareem, you can't do the sky hook. Mike, you can't do that. You can't do your fadeaway. You know what I'm saying? Like, the tush push to me is going to become the new play for all football to say, hey, man, it's football. You know where the ball's going. And, hey, man, your O-lineman your D-line need to be better than my O-line. Because guess what? First it started with Buffalo, and they do the tush push more than freaking Philly does. Then it goes over to Green Bay. But guess what? Now, Green Bay and Buffalo, they got pie on their face right now. They saying, dude.
All I got to say is whoever's running the Eagles social media team is diabolical. They just posted 26 minutes of the tush push on the social media page.
Let me tell you something. If I'm playing SC, in the late 90s, and I can't stop the fullback dive, is Marvin gonna say, Coach, don't call that? They can't stop that.
And the funny part is they lost vote.
No, think about it. Think about it. Coach, don't call it. Why? Because they can't stop it. I'm like 100% on every time we run it. No, football is not when you don't know where the play is going. It's when you do. Oh, we know what's coming right here. Can't stop it. Because running the football, that's all mentality. You can throw away schemes. Running the football means I think we better than y'all. What? We're gonna put our hand in the dirt. Let's see. We're gonna put our hand and
you want to laugh, Ben? They actually lost votes. They didn't gain any votes. They lost almost 10 votes.
That means more teams want to do it.
Yeah, that means
the funnier part. So the Green Bay Packers is the one that initiated a vote. The vote went 22-10. What was the score of the divisional playoff game or the wild card playoff game? 22-10. That is karma for the Green Bay Packers, in my opinion.
Listen, because you know what's going to happen, right? You're going to have a full offensive scheme. Now you're going to have the tush push bootleg. They're gonna start doing stuff out of this play because you got. Man,
they've already done that. They've already faked that they're gonna do. They're gonna run that play and either have Jalen run off or instead go up like he's about to do it and then turn around and pitch it to Saquon, and they've scored with that. So they have so many different variations of it.
Mm-hmm.
It did, in my opinion, it didn't matter if they were banning some type of language to try to prevent that play. And I just said it. I kind of feel like it hurts more teams on other sides of it when you're sitting there saying you cannot push an offensive player forward. You have those plays where you, like I said, you run a screen, whatever, or you're running a play where you get a bunch of offensive and defensive linemen together, and you're still moving forward, and you wind up getting that one or two guys to push you forward for a first down. Now you're going to tell me that's a 10-yard penalty because you can't stop this play?
They're not telling you that, Steve. Once again, man, this is about who's doing it, not that is being done.
Yep.
If Kansas City, Patrick Mahomes was doing this, that you'll see it in commercials and all kind of stuff. But once again, man, it always comes down. If one of the best quarterback sneakers ever was Tom Brady, he was great at quarterback sneakers, right? But check that. You don't think the league? Okay, y'all do the Philly in the Super Bowl with Nick Foles, and it works. Who tried to do it next year? That would be New England, right? Who dropped the ball? Tom Brady, because they did an open field. He dropped it. Which means Tom Brady has a flaw. He can't catch. That's the one thing he can't do. We get it. But that's what football is. Hey, man, sometimes I want to find something that somebody else invented. Michael Jackson did not invent the moonwalk. He perfected it. He did not invent it, right? But he the one that he was on TV when he did it. So now we expect to see it. So think about this. Michael Jackson is performing. He ain't gonna do anything. He ain't gonna do beat it.
And you're right. The hate is funny. The hate is funny, actually, and the funny part is, did you see who was just doing media interviews, sitting there saying he wanted a ban, right?
Come on,
Freddie Luval was like, "Oh, he wants a ban." I wonder why, because didn't you almost cause your team a 10-yard penalty and the giving them a score because he kept jumping over the top?
Well, he in that division too. He like, look, man, I got to see these dudes twice a year. You know what it is? It's a flex. It's one of those things. It's like, hey, man, the offense ain't working. Tush push. What? Man, it's like 3rd and 7. Who cares? Because it's not like they barely get it. You notice every time they do it, they don't barely get it. They don't bring the chains guys out.
No, it's typically that's why I think people really have a problem with it, is because they're not just gaining a yard. They're almost gaining 3 to 4 yards per attempt, which is if you do the math, they could, as Ben was sitting there saying, you could run it, do a whole offensive series running that play down the field, and there's nothing these guys could do to stop it.
And they don't even do it with Saquon. They could. They don't even. I don't know. I'm happy that they didn't vote it out.
Yeah.
It's just, listen, when Ronnie Brown and Miami was doing the Wildcat, nobody could stop it. Then they go New England, they stop it. Listen, all these great defensive coordinators, they can't find a way to stop it. They find a way to stop everything else, right?
And they were absolutely picking on the Eagles. Did you see the schedule, right? They don't have back-to-back home games at all this season. At all. They do not have back-to-back home games at all this season. And actually, the funny part was that they've given them, because they did that, they've given them kind of several mini buys. I came across this stat. It was actually pretty funny. So they actually have several weeks where they have 8-day rest. Then they have another one game. Then they have a 10-day rest and a 15-day rest and a 10-day rest and an 8-day rest. So even though we don't have back-to-back home games because of the way they scheduled the games, the Eagles technically have several mini buys in the middle of the season. So as much as I know some of the fans were upset, we're like, oh, well, we don't have back-to-back home games at all this season. I'm like, but you only have one back-to-back road trip. I'll take that as mad as some of the scheduling was. I mean, I'm mad that we play both the Giants and Washington within 3 weeks. We played both of the games within 3 weeks of each other. The fact that you backloaded Washington to the end of the season, and that's who you play the last game of the season, I think is absolutely ridiculous. If you think that's going to be the team that's going to be trying to vie for the division title, right? Why would you backload that and then have them play twice in 3 weeks?
So y'all not the media. They showing y'all that y'all wasn't a part of the media darling rollout. You know how I know?
Yeah.
Kansas City is playing overseas. When? Week 1. They playing week 1. Minnesota has to play overseas back-to-back weeks. They got to do it back-to-back, right? Yeah. So they telling Minnesota, hey, man, y'all ain't there yet. Y'all ain't there. If Kansas City let me know what Kansas City does back-to-back weeks. Overseas, international. They're not gonna do that to a team like Kansas City. And like I say, man, I think that Jalen Hurts is making a lot of things irrelevant. Like the regular season MVP, he's making it irrelevant.
Yep.
Right. And Jalen Hurts, just like a Caitlin Clark, why people thinking, man, I ain't know this dude was that good. Have you not been watching football?
Exactly. Yeah.
Like from Texas, where he went to high school, Alabama, Oklahoma, like Carson Wentz. Why is he not in fit? Oh, Jalen Hurts. Right? And once again, you got players like Jalen Hurts who they're going to do all they can to invalidate him. He's not a top 10 quarterback. He's only benefiting from the team around him. He's only benefiting from Saquon. Well, that's his second time in the Super Bowl. He outplayed Patrick Mahomes twice. They lost by a field goal the first time. I'm just telling you. And he has no coincidence. He has all black women representing him, and as far as his representation, right? He went out on the wing when he first got drafted to do that. People like, don't do that, Jalen. He said, dude, I've been betting on me for a long time. People thought he was gun shy in Alabama, so he go to Oklahoma. And he was a Heisman Trophy runner-up. You know who he threw to? This bum named CeeDee Lamb. That's who he threw to. What? So I think with Jalen Hurts, he looks the part. He's just wearing the wrong colors. Because I don't know what it is about Philly, man. People just, hey, dude, Philly is ahead of schedule. Nope. Philly killed 2 dynasties. They killed New England, and they killed Kansas City. Now I'm saying Kansas City going to still be around. What's going to happen if he go back-to-back? What if he do the 3-peat?
And he could.
He very well could do it.
It's realistic.
It is realistic. I mean, I already sit there saying I'm not going to talk about repeats or dynasties until they do it, just because, I guess you could say that's the Negadelphian in me. But, too much happens in the sport. It's hard to win multiple ones. But the roster that Howie Roseman has put together, the fact that their core is under contract for the better part of the next 2 to 3 years, and your MVP quarterback isn't even in the top 10 highest paid quarterbacks in the league right now. Stop playing with me. Did you just see the contract that Brock Purdy just got?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Me and Ben, we talked about it last night. We've talked about it on this program, man. Brock Purdy's not even the seventh best player on his team.
Hey man,
and we talk about paying per position and things of that nature. Listen, man, I know like it's not easy thing to find a quarterback, but I know Brock is good in a lot of areas, and I'm not gonna. He's not Mr. Irrelevant, regardless if he was the last pick in the draft or anything. I don't feel that way about him, but paying him that much money. It sounds almost as bad as when the Giants gave Daniel Jones $40 million a year.
I mean, it's a going rate for quarterbacks.
Well, no, you can't put them in the same conversation. Daniel Jones hadn't won any playoff games, hadn't
No. Yep.
The option was him or Saquon, and you chose Daniel Jones. At least Purdy, who is getting market value, he's won some games. He's won some games.
Yeah.
So, they were kind of in a tough situation, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But I don't know.
For
a cheap franchise, they just paid Brock Purdy and they just paid their starting middle linebacker too.
And George Kittle. They paid George Kittle first, Fred Warner, then they paid Brock Purdy. Quarterbacks are the only position that you don't. Sometimes it's based on play, as it should be, and sometimes it's not. People go, "How do you know?" Because Trevor Lawrence makes the same amount of money as Josh Allen. Trevor Lawrence, and he does. They make the same. And every other position, you got to prove it based on what you're doing and the position that you play. Quarterbacks is, hey man, you can have a good year. Jordan Love had a really, really good year, got his money. And, because he's going to be the franchise guy. Brock Purdy, say what you want. Brock Purdy did go to 2 NFC Championship games, 1 Super Bowl, lost the first NFC Championship because he showed got nerve damage in and went to the second one, and he lost to Kansas City. Now, for Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch, this better work out with Brock. Because if it don't, they're going to be like, hey, dude, we putting a lot on this dude, which he's the greatest Mr. Irrelevant ever. I don't think it's ever going to be close. Because most Mr. Irrelevants, you don't even know who they are. But I don't know. The quarterback position is always different because I think guys get evaluated differently. I really, really do. I mean, you telling me that Josh Allen was the second-team All-Pro, he won the MVP, and Lamar Jackson was the first-team All-Pro and didn't win the MVP? That Lamar Jackson was had better completion percentage, yards, touchdown. Anyway, I'm just saying, Josh Allen won MVP. Boom. If they get to talking about Joe Burrow win the MVP from game 1, he's gonna have to play awful to not get it. But regular season MVP is cool. Like they say, if you had the NFL honors to accept your award, that means you're not in the Super Bowl. Get ready to play. So Jalen Hurts gonna be like, cool, y'all not gonna give me regular season MVP. I'm gonna keep on getting MVP, and I'm gonna do it against Patrick Mahomes. Maybe Josh Allen can get in there this year. Maybe Joe Burrow can get back there this year. Maybe Lamar Jackson can make it to an AFC Championship game and make it to a Super Bowl. But if Jalen Hurts saying, look, man, I've been doing this a long time. I'm the only player in college football history to go 26-2 and get benched. That has never happened before. And it happened to me because they had Tua. And I was a good sport about it. I ain't make no waves, but I don't know. Like I said, I'm a Falcons fan. So when I get to talk about real football teams, it makes me feel good because I'm just telling y'all, man, we got Michael Penix Jr. He's a lefty that never takes his wave cap off. Like, he never takes it off. Like, never. He won't take it off for nobody. He wears it all the time. I don't know who your team is, Marvin. It's probably a real football team. Huh? Okay. So you got Justin Fields. And you know what? I am rooting for Justin Fields to beat the hell out of the Pittsburgh Steelers when they play them. Yes, I want him to beat the brakes off them. And I want Aaron Rodgers to be the quarterback. And I want Justin Fields, after the game, walk up to Mike Tomlin, shake his hand, and look at him and say, really? You wanted him over me? Cool. Did you see him with the Jets? You saw him with the Jets and wanted him to come to – I'm just telling you. Because, look, I want Justin Fields – listen, once again, I don't know how good the Jets gonna be this year, but they're gonna disrupt some people, man. You know who they're gonna disrupt? Miami and New England. Because people talk about New England had a great draft, and so New England they got Mike Vrabel now. Listen, Aaron Glenn to me was the best hire in this coaching cycle. Nothing
I hope
against
so. Man, I hope so.
Because like I said,
Marvin's asking for a complete culture change because it's been rough down there for New York.
It's been 49 years in this abusive relationship with the New York Jets. It's heartbreak after heartbreak after heartbreak. It's almost, and it hurts, man. It hurts.
I mean, but that I will say that's real. Let me say this: a Philadelphia Eagles fan is loyal. But let me tell you, what loyalty and fandom to me is this. It's when your team, it's been a long time. And people, and you go places and people say, man, you still rooting for them? Yeah, man, for real? Yeah. It's like they say, you still with her? Yeah, man, we still together. But I saw it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But because here's the thing. You don't want to leave and then they win. You don't want, like, I just saw on X, the way the New York Knicks fans were talking about Boston, that's real fandom. Because the Knicks ain't had nothing to talk about for a long time, right?
25 years
after they beat Boston, because, you just want to be able to, because I'm a trash talker now, whether my Falcons win, I'm a trash, but it's like, I just want to be able to say, we were there, man. Like, we've been there twice. And it's just, you say to yourself, dude, are they just a figmentation in my mind? Is it just I done made them something in my mind that they just? Oh, Marvin, you didn't know this. Me and my wife, we had to do our wills and stuff, and I have a clause in my will to where the Falcons are my pallbearers, and the reason why, I just want them to be able to let me down one last time.
Oh, that's funny.
But what I'm saying is. When you would listen, I lived in New Jersey for about 4 or 5 years, and Jets fandom is real. Like a Jets fan, if you ask them who they root for, they just look at you like you disrespectful. What'd you say? Who you root for? What do you mean who I root for? They'll say, do I look like a Giants fan to you? I go, no. They get pissed. Like, they ain't with that. They ain't with that at all. They hate Eli. Right? They hate anything New York football. But the thing about the Jets is, man, it's like, I remember when Mark Sanchez got drafted. Sanchez, back-to-back AFC championship games. Rex Ryan. That team was hit you in your face. Dustin Keller was one of my favorite tight ends that come through the league. Marvin going, this is it. And then they go, God dang it. It's like, people say, hey, man, don't even put me in the NFC or AFC championship games, man. We ain't gonna win. Why? Because, man, like, I don't want to be that close. I don't want to lose a Super Bowl to where the team that won trailed every second of the game. How's that even possible? New England never had a lead until they got the lead and won. I hate it. I hate Tom Brady. I hate Bill Belichick. I hate Kyle Shanahan because he was our offensive coordinator then calling stupid plays. Anyway, I got to move on. Every time I see Kyle Shanahan, I'll be like, so you got Devonta Freeman, a 5'11", 215-pound running back, trying to block a 255-pound outside line. You think he can't do that? It's a sack fumble. And then we couldn't cover Julian Edelman. Golly. Anyway, man, it just every
man,
time
let me ask you a question on somebody you just mentioned. Is Eli Manning a Hall of Famer?
If I'm being honest, no. If I'm being honest, no. I'm gonna tell you why. This is why. The same way Jalen has made the regular season, Jalen Hurts has made the regular season MVP irrelevant. You can't validate a career because you won 2 Super Bowls. Nick Foles won a Super Bowl, MVP too. Joe Flacco has won a Super Bowl because it makes it seem like it's like this. If I'm a boxer and I lost all my fights, but I beat 2 really, really good heavyweights, does that make me when I beat Tyson, I beat Riddick Bowe, I beat Evander Holyfield, but I got the hell beat out me by everybody else. Look, a Super Bowl and a Super Bowl run is a moment, right? You had some really, really, because think about this, Marvin. Go back to those teams. Michael Strahan, Justin Tuck, Jason Pierre-Paul, Asa Yuma. You had Taylor. Jacobs. You had a 3-headed. Listen, I'm a part of. Eli was the first pick of our draft in 2004. I love Eli, but Marvin, we can't just throw away everything else. Hey man, no, don't look at that. Don't look at the regular season. Don't look at these other.
So with that said, is he going to the Hall of Fame?
Yep, because the last name is Manning. Yep, he's going. He's going. Like
I'm gonna answer Marvin right here. So listen to this. He is not a Hall of Famer. Is he a famous quarterback with a famous last name? Absolutely. He had two, not one, two amazing defenses that gave him those Super Bowls. He was he extraordinary in the playoffs? No. They had Michael Strahan. Of course, they had an amazing defense, amazing pass rush. That's what got them there. Hard-nosed football. It wasn't on the back of Eli Manning's shoulder.
Yeah.
No.
No. But I think
he threw more picks and touchdowns more than half of his career.
I will say this.
Hall of Fame anything.
Here's the thing, right? When we get to talk about Hall of Famers, right? If you got to think about it, I don't think they in. Because Hall of Famers are no-brainers to me. You say
I agree with that.
It's like this. Remember when you were just I said, Marvin, tell me about the running backs of that SC. You oh my God. Because people don't get it. Just give me how many names? 7 Heisman Trophy winners, 4 or 5 of them running backs. We are running back you. We don't want to. We running back you, case closed. Argue with your mom about it. When it comes to Hall of Famers, right? Now you're going to have some. The Hall, listen, they're going to have to come up with the Hall of Very Good. And it's going to have to be 2 miles long because it's going to be full of players, right? The Hall of Fame means we cannot talk about this position without talking about you. Like, I'll give you a Hall of Famer who didn't win no Super Bowls, but I think it's a Hall of Famer. I think Michael Vick is a freaking Hall of Famer for what he did for the position. I think Cam Newton is a Hall of Famer. Because when you talk about, now, people going to think I'm crazy, right? People going to think I'm crazy. Marvin, when the last time you seen the Carolina Panthers game?
There's your answer, right?
When Cam,
I'll tell you. 2 years ago in Charlotte when they were playing the Jets, and I went to the game.
So they playing your team. That's different. They playing. I'm saying, to me, Hall of Fame is when somebody when people say, man, Calvin Johnson, Hall of Famer. Oh yeah. Calvin Johnson? Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Like, when they say running backs, they'll say Adrian Peterson, Hall of Fame, right? Hall of Fame. Marshawn Lynch, oh yeah, that dude was a Hall of Famer, man, right? Mm-hmm. When people start saying things like Ezekiel Elliott, what? Ezekiel?
I keep being told he was elite. I want to know when he was elite. Can
No. Here it is. If I play for 10 years. I can have some real nice years in 10 years. I can have some moments. Right? Moments. If I make you a Hall of Famer, that means you got to be in there with the other Hall. You got to walk in that room. They got to look at you and go, what? Huh? Really?
I got one for you. I want both. I've been talking about this. I want Marvin's opinion. I want your opinion. So, Patrick Willis was the first ballot Hall of Famer for the San Francisco 49ers. Absolutely great linebacker, right? And Ben likes to say numbers ain't everything, right? Winning a Super Bowl ain't everything. So how does Seth Joyner, is a Super Bowl winner when he went to Green Bay, got one from the Green Bay Packers. He's got better numbers than Patrick Willis, and he hasn't even sniffed the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I mean, it's Seth was a great player. I can't speak on that. I don't know.
And it's one of the things I talk about all the time. Like, we need to change how the voting is done. We absolutely. It doesn't matter if we're talking
No. We gonna get it wrong, and the reason why we get it wrong, I'm gonna tell you why we get it wrong. Listen, 3 words. Well, really 2 words. Football writers. But these are the people that get the votes. The people that write about it, they get the vote. Right? Why don't you let players who's in the Hall of Fame get a vote? Let them get a vote. Hall of Fame. I believe the NFL is the hardest Hall of Fame and the most prestigious Hall of Fame to be in because it's not a longevity contest. It's not it's sometimes popularity. But like I say, you say a name and people go, yep. Because here's the thing. We know who the Hall of Famers are, even if we didn't watch them closely. We know who they are, right? When Julio Jones retired, Hall of Famer. When he retired, that dude there, yeah. Because the reason why I keep talking about moments, a Hall of Famer, you only need a moment to see him do something. You go, good God, who is that? I mean, people get mad at me with this. People say, Ben, who's the greatest deep threat you've ever seen? In the NFL? Yeah. Easy answer to that is Randy Moss. I think the greatest deep threat in the NFL that I've ever seen is Deshaun Jackson. You need to look at Deshaun Jackson numbers, 50-yard touchdowns. It is ridiculous. And he did it Tampa Bay, Philly, wherever he was at. But here's the thing. People will say, well, he ain't Randy Moss. He don't got to be. But for what you need him to do, Deshaun Jackson was cheat code, man. That joke, punt returner, outside receiver, slot receiver, give it to him on a jet sweep. And when you meet him in person, you'll be like, what? Like, yeah, man, I might be $175 with my clothes on soaking wet, but put that number on my chest and I'm a dip. The only thing I would tell Deshaun Jackson, just run through the end zone with the football. Stop dropping it before you did in high school. Just stop, man. I mean, I don't know. I think that
he did it in high school too. Dropped it before.
Yeah, he did in high school. Yeah, he was in an All-Star game in high school and did it. Okay. I mean, what I'm saying is, the Hall of Fame is the greatest of all time. Ain't no he was great. No, greatest. Like when I think about linebackers, yeah, Patrick Willis, Luke Kuechly, what's old boy name? He played for Seattle all those years. Now he with the Commanders. Bobby Wagner. Yeah. Like Fred Warner. When Fred Warner hang it up, he's gonna be a Hall of Famer, man. That dude is, because a Hall of Famer is you respect that person even if they don't play again. Zach Thomas just got in the Hall of Fame. You know how great Zach Thomas was for Miami? Right. That dude was nasty. I mean, Jason Taylor, Hall of Famer. Ray Lewis, those guys are easy. The fringe guys are the hardest guys to get in because you start breaking it. I think Chad Johnson is a Hall of Famer, man. I really, really do. And that's no slouch to guys who want to get in. But I'm gonna tell you a guy who's not a Hall of Famer, but the most disrespected running back in my 42 years of living is Roger Craig. Roger Craig for San Francisco
100%.
Out. He wasn't good. He was
1,000-yard receiver, 1,000-yard rusher.
I think he's the first 1,000 guy. I think he's the first one to do it. Man, if I'm on a team that's that loaded, that go Jared, that go Steve, that go Joe, I got 1,000 yards rushing, 1,000 yards receiver. Stop it. To me, now Roger Craig ain't gonna be in the Hall of Fame, but when Roger Craig walk in the room with running backs, they should stand up and applaud, man. Great. There ain't gonna be no LaDainian Tomlinson. LaDainian and these guys, Christian McCaffrey's, who you think they learned how to do that from? Marshall Faulk? Who you think they learned how to run that little, yeah, man. I watch Roger Craig. Why? Because when I got a running back that can get open on the linebacker, that can run in between the tackles, that can catch anything you throw him, that can pick up the blitz, Roger Craig didn't come off the field. He was all right. No. And that's the part about the league to where, yes, you got the Hall of Fame conversation, which is supposed to be rare. I'm blessed enough to be in the Florida-Georgia game Hall of Fame. Didn't even know the game had a Hall of Fame. And when I got inducted in, I saw the people that were in it. I said, God dang, I'm in there with them. It's a humility attached to it because, like I say, Marvin, look, your daddy was him, right? Which means when someone says, hey, man, I'm an SC Hall of Famer, you go, oh. They got to be compared to that. Regardless of position, your daddy is a part of that standard. That, to me, they can't just be, they were good. Like at SC, like Troupe, people go, I ain't know gonna be that good at Pittsburgh. Well, you obviously didn't watch football.
Right.
Troupe used to kill people. He used to kill people. And they used to tell Troy, hey man, calm down. And like I said, man, it's a to be in the Hall of Fame in anything, whether in high school, college, pro, that means that you were at a level, you dominated amongst other dominant players. You know what I'm saying? Which is hard to do. So yeah, I don't know how they're gonna do these lists moving forward. Travis Kelce, he's a Hall of Fame tight end right now. He would stop playing right now. Hall of Fame. Gronk, Hall of Fame. Vernon Davis was a really, really good tight end when he was with the San Francisco 49ers. He's not a Hall of Famer, though. Greg Olsen, I think it might be a fringe guy because people start saying, well, dude, who do I compare it to? The guy's already in who? Tony Gonzalez, Antonio Gates. Antonio Gates wasn't the first ballot Hall of Famer. He has the most receiving touchdowns for a tight end. He has more than Tony Gonzalez. He has more than Kellen Winslow. He got more than Gronk. He got more than Travis Kelce. He got more than Tony Gonzalez. And he's a second ballot Hall of Fame. And he was undrafted. He's the all-time leading receiver, touchdowns, and yards for the Chargers. He has more than Kellen. He blew Kellen Winslow senior stats out the water. He did his stats twice. And he had to wait to the second ballot. So I don't know how they do the voting. I think it's very, very flawed because Terrell Owens had to wait.
Mm-hmm.
Terrell Owens had to wait.
Which is crazy. Crazy.
Terrell Owens, whether you like Terrell Owens or not, Terrell Owens was good.
What he did that Super Bowl in 2004 was unbelievable.
Broken leg?
On a broken leg, exactly. He had like 8 catches for 121 yards or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, we don't appreciate greatness. I can't remember who the coach was. They had a brand new coach at Georgia Tech. This is when I was on the radio, and Calvin Johnson was there. He was there to like, because in the spring game they'll let like a former player. They let Joe Hamilton, the greatest quarterback. They were gonna let him throw a pass to Calvin Johnson. I'm sitting there with these youngins, man. I said, you see that name up there? I said, that's Calvin Johnson. They had his name up in the Raptors. This kid gonna say, I thought Calvin Johnson was dead. What the hell? What? I'm like, wait, what? I said, that's Calvin Johnson right there. Listen. I've never met Calvin Johnson but one time in my life. When I met him, right? Because I'm a tall guy, he's a tall guy. Just imagine something like that walk out on the field. He's at receiver. He's 6'5", 235, 240 with a visor on, and he's a receiver. Well, guess what Calvin Johnson did? He played how he looked. Because Marvin, that's the one thing that people don't talk about in football. You don't want to look like Tarzan and play like James. You don't want to do that. Right? You don't want to do that. There will play the most gifted player I have ever had the privilege of playing against and watching. To me, it ain't close. It is Julius Peppers. Julius Peppers is a freaking freak. Mm-hmm. This dude could have went to the NBA if he wanted to. No. When I went up against Julius Peppers, he like 6'7", about like 270. He don't look 270. He weighs 270.
Mm-hmm.
Man, he do that long arm thing with me, man. They like, hey, man, you got to stay in the block. Okay. No. That's you want me to pass back on the pass bay and I'm a tight end? Cool. Julius Peppers did this thing to me, right? He did this long arm thing, and I'm about to fall and hit the ground. With that same arm, he grabbed me and pulled me back up. He said, hold on there, young fella. Mind you, he be like a couple of years older than me. Think about that. I'm a grown, listen, my 6'5", 250, I'm a grown man too now. I live a little bit.
Yeah.
He showed me I go up against 300 pounds every play. This is what he told me. While he's pulling me back up, he said, Troupe, you a little light in the ASS, ain't you? I said, whoa. I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? But Hall of Famer. So I'm going to get dominated sometimes. I mean, sometimes you the hammer, sometimes you the nail, but we need to stop putting anybody in the Hall of Fame because they played well. It's not because you play well consistently, right? It's because when I watch you, could I not turn away? Like, who is that? That's Hall of Fame, right? When you walking out your house and your wife is saying, "Come on, Marvin." All right. You can. I don't want to hear about it on ESPN. I want, oh shoot, and you run out to the car, say, baby, just give me 5 minutes. You said that 5 minutes ago, and then you hear the crowd. You run back in. That's like, to me. I wish Reggie Bush was as great as he was in the NFL as he was in you. There are players in college who said, "Who is that?" Because Reggie Bush. The only thing Reggie Bush did in his career he should have done was try to pitch that ball back against Texas. I don't know what. I'm like, Reggie.
Tough one. That was a tough one. He's trying to make a play.
We if I ever get a chance to do a Hall of Fame, they try to put me on the committee here in the state of Georgia as far as like who they put in. Basically, if you went to Georgia, in the state of Georgia, they'll put you in the Georgia Hall of Fame. It can't just be, I don't know, man. Like, that's why I say, Eli, I love you, man. I don't think Eli's a Hall of Famer. I just don't. Now, who I think is a Hall of Famer in that same draft class, Ben Roethlisberger. I think he is. Oh Oh yeah, but you see that, Marvin? Oh yeah, you see how we don't have to nudge nobody? Like if somebody say, "Hey Marvin, listen, Eli Manning's on the outside, man." He said, "Why he ain't got in the Hall of Fame yet?" Because he's not, and tell him to close my door and don't come back to this office. Think about this: if Eli's last name was Johnson or Smith, would he be in? Nope. That Manning holds weight. Archie, Peyton, right? And I think the thing, yes, he got the same number of Super Bowls as his brother. Some people consider Peyton the greatest regular season quarterback ever. Do you remember Eli in the regular season? Good God.
Yeah, 500.
He was less than pedestrian. He was less than pedestrian.
And this is no lie. If Joe Flacco goes to another Super Bowl and wins it, he will make Eli Manning's career obsolete because they would have done the same thing. Mm-hmm. Literally. Because Joe Flacco took the Ravens and they won the Super Bowl. And he's a Super Bowl MVP. I don't know, man. I don't like when quarterbacks have to win Super Bowls to validate their Hall of Fame careers. No, you either are or you aren't. I ain't know because Phillip Rivers threw for 87,000 yards, whatever he threw for. He ain't gonna be in the Hall of Fame. I don't. You know who killed his career, Matthew Stafford?
I think he will be. I think he will be.
Man, here's the thing, Marv. If Phillip gets in, then Eli gonna get in.
Eli getting in. Eli getting in.
He's getting in off his name, and we know it. We know it.
You know what it is? You know what it is? We've come to the realization. We the Hall of Fame committee. We supposed to, vote him in. It's me, it's Steven, it's Marv. And all of a sudden, I'm like, what is this? Why has he got Eli on it? Man, we just voted him in. Who are y'all? Oh, we the committee over y'all. We had to supersede y'all because y'all wasn't gonna put him in. I'm like, all right, well, send it through. Eli's gonna listen, man. Is Eli Manning really charismatic like his brother Peyton? No. Is he likable? Yes. What Eli Manning has done is this. The quarterback position is the only position in pro sports. People got to like you, man. Yeah. It shouldn't be that way, but people got to like you. Listen,
ask Terrell Owens. Ask Terrell Owens, right?
Yeah. I mean, the other day, the other show, what the shows we had when you said that Patrick Mahomes be sounding like Kermit the Frog, I almost couldn't finish the show. That is exactly what he talks like.
But it's true. That's why you got frogs sitting around there with the likeness of Mr. Mahomes. But that's besides.
But so for people, and the reason why I say that, so people, when y'all say, why does Russell Wilson act like that? That's why. He wants to be liked. What he said in Denver, let's ride. Whatever he said, let's ride in Denver. And then they ain't even let him talk in Pittsburgh. Don't say nothing. What? Now he's over there in New York. I'm just saying that's why that's why Shedeur really dropped. Because people started disliking him. But let me tell you something, and I know it'll never go away. If you are a GM, a coach, or a scout, don't do no anonymous sources. Don't talk trash about somebody gonna get drafted, but don't put your name in it. I don't like that. Say it with your chest.
With your chest, right, Ben? Speak it with your chest.
I mean, listen. Hey, man, put in there, I don't think he's that good of a player. I don't like his daddy. I don't like his brother. I don't like his family. But don't tell him it was me. What time? You want me to write that? Yeah. From an anonymous scout in the AFC. No, don't put AFC. Just put in the NFL. I don't want to. That's the part I don't like, because guess what? If we don't know you, we only know of you through what people say about you. Right. That's the NFL, right? We don't really know Antonio Brown, but every time he do something, people go, "Oh, there it is. See, he doing it." No. You don't know him. He could be the nicest dude you ever met, but most people, Marvin is very, 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 very rare. Most people don't got famous daddies. Most of us do not have most of the time we are the famous daddy if we went to the league or do right? So Marvin Powell III can either validate or invalidate what they feel about his daddy through him. I ain't really like it. If I love his daddy, I'm probably love Marvin. If his daddy used to dominate me, which he probably did, what's your name again? Marvin Powell. Oh, yeah, that's my daddy. That went to SC. Mm-hmm. With the Jets, yeah.
That's how it goes. That's exactly how it goes. Yeah. You scripted it. That's exactly how the conversation goes. It's like that.
I mean, because why wouldn't they? They're gonna say, you Marvin Powell. Yeah. Who you play against, sir? Oh, yeah, I used to play for Buffalo. Well, D-line. Oh, sorry to hear about that, man. It ain't just you, though. What just you? No. So it's always gonna be a But I will say this: Shedeur Sanders understands what he represents. And I'm not just saying black men, confident men. saying, hey, man, I'd rather be loved. I'd rather be hated for who I am. I don't want them to love me for this representation. Deion Sanders don't do this representation. Deion said he did an interview one time, and he was Deion, and they wanted Prime. They didn't even air the commercial. They didn't even air the interview. Because Deion said, that's what y'all want. Now think about it. Deion knows what you want and get mad when he gives it to you. Y'all don't want Deion. When I'm watching him with Shadur, Shiloh, Deion Sanders Jr., his daughters, that's Deion. It's just on camera. Right. When you see him out there coaching those players, that's Deion too. But when them cameras are the brightest, that's Prime, boy. And he ain't switching it. And the thing is, we don't know who's who. We didn't ask him, hey, man, who are you today? We assumed Coach Prime, Coach Prime, Coach Prime, Coach Prime, Coach Prime. Well, guess what Deion made coaching? Fun to watch. Ain't nobody trying to really see Nick Saban when he was at Alabama yelling, ah! Anybody can yell, Kirby Smart. Deion said, I'm going to show you what really goes into coaching. So when coaches say we up 3 and you're doing watching 20 hours of tape, for what? No, they're not. Go home. We watching third down for 3 hours and 45 minutes. No, you're not. No, you're not. You prepping, game plan, execute game plan, go home. Because Deion is saying some of these people lying to y'all.
Yeah,
but we'll see. We'll see.
I got one more from Marvin before we get ready to let him enjoy the rest of his afternoon. Now, when I set up the interview, I went through your socials and I noticed something. So you're part of the NFLPA chapter down there in Atlanta, right?
Yes, I am, secretary.
So what? When did you kind of get involved in that? Is that something because your dad got back involved in it, or how did that whole process come about?
I mean, so just growing up as a kid, like I said in the post, my dad was the president of the union during the '87 strike, and I was writing about how at that time, because of the strike, people weren't gambling on the game, and the mob was losing money, right? And Gotti had a dude show up at our house, park outside of our house for the duration of the strike, just trying to intimidate. But seeing him go through that and everything else, had a real impact with me. And when I got out the league and I settled in Miami for about 15 years, I started going to the NFLPA local chapter meetings in Miami, and they did a great job running that. It was a very good chapter. And after Hurricane Irma, I was forced to move up to the Atlanta area, and got into going to those meetings as well. And Bobby Howard and the rest of our executive team have done a great job over the last 30 years, and I've really enjoyed going to some of those meetings. And this year I had an opportunity to run for secretary. I ran unopposed, and it's good, man. It's great just to being able to connect with former players, help the community how we can, and just come together, because the brotherhood is a very real thing, and just trying to bring these guys together for something positive it's a good thing, and I love being a part of it. So for me, it was just following Dad's legacy, the impact he had on me, and just wanting to do the same for the players in the community as he did.
Yeah, it's one of the things that I love bringing guys like you on, especially because I got Ben here and want to be able to kind of show people like the connection that the athletes have after the game's over, after all the cameras are off and things of that nature. That 9 times out of 10 you guys have a genuine brotherhood, and sometimes you also, I do this so share this platform to the point where to make sure, like, if there are those guys that need help, that worried about asking about that, like, you have people you can reach out to kind of help you through your struggles and help put you in a better place, at the very least mentally.
Absolutely. And to its credit, I think the NFL's done an okay job. The NFLPA really has pushed that. I think they do a good job. And there are actually, a lot of resources and opportunities for former players that they don't know about, So I encourage former players to do their due diligence, make phone calls, reach out. I only have Facebook for social media. I'm not that ahead yet.
Marvin, you're a smart man. Just stay right there. Don't go nowhere else.
Yeah, no. Trust me. I know. So, you can definitely reach out to Marvin Powell III on Facebook, and I'll redirect you anywhere I can. But there are many opportunities and resources. There's tremendous help and support for players who are just going through normal life. Because when you come out of football, it is a transition. It's a big transition, It's a different, in many ways, you're going to a different world. We grew up in a meritocracy where you got to earn it. You go out there, you do it. It's black and white. It's being direct. It's being accountable. But the reality is, for as much as they judge us, the rest of the world ain't living like that. The world, what they doing, they ain't living to that same degree of discipline and excellence and everything else. It's another story. But it's a transition. It really is. And there's help out there, people who care, so.
Ben, anything you want to add?
Listen, man, keep doing your thing. We're gonna definitely touch base, man. I'm up here in Atlanta. Been up here a little while now. Being back in the state of Georgia, and I
did you get an email from me, Ben? You should have got an email from me a couple weeks ago.
I mean, listen. I'm my wife can't hear. She gonna be, you ain't checking your email. I'm gonna go through. Well, I think I'm gonna go through and check and see. I want to make sure I give you your flowers, though, Marvin. People like yourself do way more for former players than we actually say, because sometimes we need somebody who we played against or admired to get us. Say, look, man, get your behind up here and get these question answered. Your family, because when you are the breadwinner but you famous or whatever comes with celebrity, sometimes it keeps you from handling your priorities the right way. Because we're really, really good football players. We weren't good at life. Like the things like being a husband, being a father, being like the protector over your home, the priest over your home, the provider of your. We were great providers, and we just cut it off right there. Now, this part of our lives is saying, hey man, our family, our future players got to see us enjoying life away from the field. Because people say, hey man, we soccer dads, we baseball dads, we football dads. Because I think when I was in Tampa and that was when I was in Oakland and you leave the game, sometimes you're ready to leave the game, but you don't have a plan. You're ready to leave, but you don't know what you're gonna do. And I think that's where. So when they sit down and we tell them, look, man, it's okay to not be okay, but we got to know you not. I ain't know you weren't okay. Because every time a former player loses his life or takes his life, we start saying, man, reach out to. No, we got to. Sometimes we get to reach out to each other and say, look, man, you don't got to suffer in silence, man. Even if you don't have a family, you come from a family. You come from people that want to see you doing well, because football is temporary, man. We thank God for every opportunity we've had. But if the last time you was good is when you played 10 years ago, no. We got to start making these things, because like you said, we can be direct with it. Former players can say stuff to each other that everyday people can't say to each other. People say, man, don't talk to him like, yes, I am. Get your behind up, man. Like, we going to tell people to leave the room, hey, man, could I have the room? Man, what the hell wrong with you? Didn't I call you yesterday? I'm going to come over to your house again every day. Why? Because you got children, you got a wife, but you got to want to be the best you for you. So I just want to give you your flowers, Mom, because, like I say, the greatest legacy you have as a power is what you're doing now, sir, because you could do this for a long time.
Right.
And I appreciate your pops being a great example because, we think we want our sons to be like us. Sometimes they want to be just like us. They want to do exactly what we did. The mob was outside y'all house. What?
Crazy, right?
Yeah, there's a Cadillac outside. How big is it? It's big. Oh,
it was black Cadillac, Lincoln-ish. I was like, I don't know, maybe 5th grade. And we had to get the blinds closed. He would only let me go to the bus stop and home, and that was it. They didn't do nothing, but they was out there flexing, letting them know.
Jeez,
ready for the fact to
I know we can live.
Yeah.
Your daddy had juice. Hey, man, you messing with money.
Yeah.
They saying, look, man, the mob respected your dad. I said, listen, we going to Timothy. You ain't gonna run up on him now. Don't run up on him. Don't do that. But hey, man, continue doing what you're doing, Marvin. Man, what you're doing is God's work, man. Because being a former player, not understanding how hard it was gonna be when you transitioned away from the game, for people like yourself and Nolan Harrison. Because I was up there living in New Jersey, I had the NFL offices right there to be able to go ask questions, man. And the first thing they tell you is, boy, you're gonna be all right. You in the right place. And before you say what the NFL don't do, let me show you what it does. Let me show you what is out there for you. And hey, man, because we doing it for the next generation of players who are gonna be transitioning out of the league, the next 5 and 10 years of their life, and that's regardless of how much money you make. Listen, man, money doesn't change your life; it changes your lifestyle. You're gonna change your life, and you better make sure that listen, it don't matter if you got $100 million in the bank if you can't move. Some of these 20-some-year-old bodies feel like 60-some-year-old bodies, and that's not even counting the cognitive side and and the brain and body and different stuff. So man, keep doing what you're doing. We're gonna definitely looking forward to meeting you in person, man. Like I say, I can root for an SC fan. Yeah, he went to the real SC, not the one in Columbia. I don't care.
Thank you.
I don't care how y'all feel.
Thank you.
What the hell is a gamecock? A gamecock is a big bird. That's what it is. It is. I'm a gamecock. What's that? A big rooster-looking bird, like Toucan Sam on the cornflakes box. That's a gamecock. It is. Their nickname when they think is like Mr. Big Spur. Come on. Come on, man.
All right, I'm gonna get ready to wrap this one up. Marvin, it's always a pleasure kind of connecting with some of the former players. What I typically do here at the end of these interviews is kind of throw the proverbial microphone over to you. Anyone I'd like to thank, show some love, shoot out your social media sites, anywhere where people can connect with you, any former players, that how they'd be able to reach out with you, anything you'd like to tell the people. The time is yours, my friend.
Yeah, as I said, I'm easy to get a hold of through Facebook. Just Marvin Powell III. Reach out to me. You can send me a DM. Listen, I'm thankful to have a wonderful wife and 2 kids, and life has been very good. It's been full of challenges and adventures, and I'm all for that. And just thankful for my whole process, and thankful for you guys as well. So happy to have been a guest. Looking forward to doing it again. And at any point, I could be a resource or anything to you or anybody. Please reach out to me.
Well, we will definitely have you back here. If not on the Fan in the End, we got plenty of programs here on the Florida Sports Tribune network, and we do it inside the Pigskins on Tuesday nights. I'm pretty sure Scott and the guys would love to have you on it there sometimes to talk some college football.
Let's do it. I'll
keep you in the loop. Next time we have the band all together, because last night what did we have? We had Melvin Farr, we had Ben, we had Chris T. Jones, Scott and Candy. We had some fun talking some college football last night. We like to kind of have a nice mix of guys, getting different perspectives, personalities, things of that nature. So we will definitely have you back on here again sometime, my friend. Appreciate the time this morning. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon. We'll definitely be in contact, my friend.
All right, you guys take care. Thanks, Ben. Thanks, Steve.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it.
Time, my friend. All right, everyone. That was Marvin Powell III.
Yeah, great,
man. This is what I love, kind of connecting people, getting different perspectives and things like that. Like, dude, I looked up. It's already an hour and 52 minutes.
I told you we are what they say when in communicating. You want to stop talking before they stop listening, man. We have great conversation. People like Marvin, and we done had Chris and all these different guys. This is gonna become the new hangout for former players to come through and say, man, what's up, baby? They talk a little bit, talk about what they doing, talk about their experience. The mob is outside your front door. What in the world, man?
I seen that. I'm like, oh man, that was after I booked the interview. I went through, so I'm like, oh, what? Oh, we got to talk about that. I mean, imagine that being an elementary school kid and just having a mob parked in front of your house trying to intimidate your dad. They offered him $1 million. Offered him, they try to bribe him. Like this, listen. We all got stories. We all got stuff like that. It's cool to hear like stuff that he went through. Following his dad's footsteps at USC, being able to be in the game himself. We talked obviously a little fullback stuff. We were as we were on the air, the bill failed, did not get the votes that it needed to get. And we even got a comment from someone in the chat room. They were like, the NFL isn't a soft league after all. I can't award some sore losers like the Green Bay Packers in professional football. Hopefully, and I wouldn't be surprised if Philly does stick it to everybody, because
I'm about to say, man,
they asked him yesterday about the Super Bowl. He's like, no. We in the 25-26 season. That was 24-25. We done with that.
Y'all finna really open it up now. Like people gonna say, push. We finna show y'all what we really got down the pipe now. So, but I do appreciate the league getting back to football. Listen, it's a collision sport. It's a grown man sport. It's not for the weak. It's not for the timid. It's not for the weak-hearted. If you don't like it, stop it. Oh, that's right. You can't. Because the only way you can stop it is to get voted out. Nope. Sorry, Sean McDermott. Sorry, Green Bay. Nope. Not doing it.
Yeah, we had a good one. You know, we talked some Shador and all that stuff. I really hope he's gonna prove all the naysayers, and he's too cocky. I hope he shoves it down all their throats. You know, talk the Caitlin Clark stuff. You know, hopefully we as people can get beyond the color of our freaking skin and just genuinely enjoy people for the greatness that they do when they are a professional athlete. I listen, I don't care if you're black, brown, green, or I don't care. I do not. As long as you're a good person and you perform and do well for your team, I got love for you. You know, I even got love for some of those Cowboy players, but I'm an Eagles fan. I generally don't want you to do.
You know, that's gonna be the new thing. We're gonna make a rule. Like what? We're gonna make a rule like for Thanksgiving, you have to go spend it with like a rival fans family. Like what? Like yeah, like you have to go to like could you imagine Steve and the missus walking up in there and like where?
Well, no, I got one for you. I haven't told you this. I haven't said this on air. You realize my girlfriend's a lifelong Cowboys fan, right?
Oh my God! See, listen. If y'all want to know what love can do, that's what love can do. like when people say, because here's the thing, right? How long did it take you to go? Do you a Cowboys fan? Like you a Cowboys fan? Like Dallas?
Oh, she was like. I mean, it started when she was a teenager. When they were dumb boys back in that era. But it's like a normal thing. It's just she gravitated towards that team. It's not like she's like a die-hard, like she watches every game. Like no, she's just in passing. She became a Cowboys fan. Okay. So she is literally your typical. Typical out-of-state Cowboys fan.
Well, since we're doing this, my wife. She didn't always be. My wife is a Saints fan. Now here I am, a Falcons fan, and she's a Saints fan. Now my wife is not diehard, but she's a Saints fan. Like she got like Saints like shoes, and like a jersey, and like some beads and stuff. So you know, it happens. So it's one of those things to where you know you look at it like really, like and usually when the Saints play the Falcons in Atlanta, we usually go to the game. We like a house divided or whatever, you know. And I'm like, the Saints ain't gonna be a lot of cheering in 2025 though. There ain't gonna be a lot of cheering if you're a Saints fan. I just don't see it.
It's rough. They're gonna have a rough season, but the last minute or so here, listen, another fun episode of The Fan in the End. We got another special episode for you this week as we're gonna be joined by former Oilers / Tennessee Titans / Eagle, Mr. Blaine Bishop's going to be hopping on with me and Ben Wednesday afternoon. We're going to be talking some more football. We're going to be talking some more craziness and doing the normal things that we do here on The Fan in the End. Ben, any last words before I wrap it up?
No, man, it's always good being on with you, Steve, man. I really be enjoying myself every Wednesday from the conversation back and forth to the I never know what guest's gonna be on here, man. For Vince, for Polly. I mean, you just never know. That's why y'all need to stay tuned to The Fan in the End. If you want to get your fix, come on over to The Fan in the End, man. We're gonna do our best. We don't sensationalize it. We just tell it how it is. Eli Manning, you're not a Hall of Famer, but you will get voted in.
It's funny. I had someone on Instagram reach out to me, and they were just like, "I genuinely love you guys are just having a genuine conversation." I'm like, "That's literally what me and Ben try to do. We just two dudes sitting down there, you know, chopping it up, talking sports. There's no agenda behind it. We don't care which way the wind blows. It's just we're gonna have a level-headed conversation no matter what the topic is gonna be. So that's what our goal typically is. We appreciate everyone tuning in, guys. If you haven't already, head over to the South Florida Tribune's social media networks. Make sure you give a like, follow, subscribe. Check out the giveaway we're doing because guess what? Our guest of this week, Miss Jessica, has sent us some signed memorabilia. We're going to be doing some giveaways leading up to her fight. Hit that like button, subscribe, comment on the video for your chance to win. We will pick a winner at the end of next month. Other than that, I'm Steve. He's Ben. This was another episode of The Fan in the End, and we will see you guys Friday. Have a good one, freaks.